Chairman Huffman, Vice Chair Gavarone, Ranking Member Antonio, and honorable members of the Health Committee. I am making this video today because my voice was limited to 3 minutes during the opposition testimony for House Bill 559. It is very unfortunate that nobody else who came that day to testify for bills were limited in time despite all of the testimony that was required to be heard that day. It is also interesting to me that the chairman took time at the beginning of the hearing to honor an Ohio State Medical Association lobbyist. He honored a lobbyist because he was retiring. Not only did he honor just any lobbyist, he honored a lobbyist for an organization that in 2017 passed a resolution dedicated to removing all non-medical exemptions to vaccination. And he did so in front of family, friends, loved ones who have been injured or had family members injured by vaccinations. One has to wonder if that was an intentional move on his behalf in an effort to intimidate us. My name is Michelle Cotterman. I am a registered nurse and the mother of 2 beautiful and robustly healthy children. I want to make a couple of statements about previous testimony, and then I want to talk about why I am opposed to House Bill 559. We have repeatedly been told that this proposal is riding on the back of protecting the immunocompromised. We should be clear that some vaccines are unable to prevent infection or transmission. For example, the pertussis vaccine or whooping cough vaccine. This is a subject that I am very familiar with, as I took my concern to the Ohio Public Health Advisory Board in the summer of 2017. I would be more than happy to share my full report and the video discussion that occurred after my comment. Acellular pertussis vaccines have been shown that it can, at best, provide symptomless infection. As can be seen from a study by the FDA titled "Acellular pertussis vaccines protect against disease but fail to prevent infection and transmission in a non-human primate model." We also get an idea of the problem from Christopher Gill, Associate Professor of Global Health at Boston University School of Public Health. Quote, "This disease is back because we didn't really understand how our immune defenses against whooping cough worked and did not understand how the vaccines needed to work to prevent it. Instead, we layered assumptions upon assumptions and now find ourselves in the uncomfortable position of admitting that we may have made some crucial errors. This is definitely not where we thought we'd be in 2017. End quote. So I think the larger conversation here revolves around common viral illnesses. Viruses like respiratory syncytial virus, Epstein-Barr virus, cytomegalovirus, or Coxsackie virus. These are common viruses that are dangerous to immunocompromised persons. So that means that regardless of vaccination status, vaccinated, unvaccinated, we are all a risk to immunocompromised persons. One of the sponsors of the testimony used 2 meningitis deaths in Tuscarawas County in December of 2017 as a crutch to support this legislation. However, these deaths were not vaccine preventable. There were not any meningococcal diseases in Tuscarawas County for the entire last quarter of 2017. I got this information from the Ohio Department of Health. The meningitis vaccine that was recently added to the Ohio Revised Code covers 4 strains of meningococcal bacteria out of the 13 known types, A, C, W, and Y. On average in Ohio, we have approximately 6 to 7 infections caused by these strains. That's out of the entire population for the entire year. This is an extremely rare infection. The vaccination, however, that is being pushed onto our 7th and 12th graders, as reported by the CDC, carries a 6.6% serious adverse event rate. That means adverse events that resulted in death, life-threatening illness, hospitalization, prolongation of hospitalization, or permanent disability. So what's wrong with this proposal? Number one, public tracking. Public tracking forces parents into an electronic database and creates an environment suitable for discrimination. I'm not quite sure how the state intends to ensure that the information that's input into this electronic database is kept secure. Secondly, Ohio Revised Code already provides a vaccination report be sent to the Director of the Ohio Department of Health. Ohio Revised Code 3313.67 states, annually by the 15th day of October, the board shall report a summary by school of the immunization records of all initial entry pupils in the district to the Director of Health on forms prescribed by the director. If there are gaps in this reporting, this is an issue of enforcing an existing law, not making a new one. And finally, requiring a signature for non-medical exemptions from a medical professional that is defined by this proposal forces parents into a healthcare system in direct violation of our constitutional and parental rights and is absolutely an interference of our religious freedoms. It is appropriate for a parent seeking medical exemption to inquire with a medical professional. However, it is very inappropriate for an individual seeking a non-medical exemption. I became aware of vaccine ingredients after my daughter experienced an allergic reaction to a series of vaccinations that she received. As an individual who is pro-life and who has firm religious beliefs, I choose to raise my children in a certain way. We are conscious consumers, and therefore consuming products that utilize aborted fetal tissue in their production is not acceptable to me, and there is no justification for that. I was not made aware of this fact by the medical professionals I entrusted to care for my children, and who subsequently fired us as clients for declining further vaccination. Therefore, it is very offensive to me that the state would consider directing me to these same people to sign my non-medical exemption to vaccination. Essentially, this bill is big government intrusion on our religious freedom, constitutional, and parental rights. It is being pushed by an industry that stands to profit from this proposal and who brought us the opioid crisis. I am asking for you to oppose this legislation and protect the rights of a minority of people who choose non-medical exemptions to vaccination. As a side note, I am aware that members of this committee were opposed to the Cures bill because of the potential use of fetal stem cell lines in the search for a cure. So I'm sure those same members can understand and appreciate why a minority of us have religious objections to our children being injected with products of abortion. I hope that you will consider these points, and I am asking you to oppose House Bill 559. We do not need a third person inserted into our ability to exercise our religious freedoms. Thank you very much.